since I made a video, so thank you for your patience. Was taking a little bit of a break with the holidays and everything. Was just kind of, feeling a little busy and overwhelmed. So I took a little bit of break, but I thought this week I would do some top 5 videos, and I'd like to do my top 5 books for the year. So these are just my top 5 books I read this year. I think most of them are released this year, but they may not all be released this year. So the first one I have is Moonology by Yasmin Boland. This is a really great book for following the lunar cycles. It gives you some really great hints and tips about what to focus on, when the moon is in certain signs. Also, if you know your astrological chart, you can look at what house the new moon or full moon is in to decide, where you want to focus your energy on. For example, if the new moon occurs in your 3rd house, then maybe you want to focus on things like communication, or if it's in your 2nd house, on money and prosperity. So I think it can be very, very helpful. Now, the guidelines they have for how you figure out where it is isn't exact. It gives you a rough guideline, but I think if you look at an ephemeris, or there's different apps you can use to see exactly where the moon is when it goes new moon or full, and if you know your chart, then you'll be able to figure it out a little more accurately, but I think it's still a good start anyway. Gives you some really neat tips on how to work with things. I tend to work with the moon a little bit differently. I believe that the waning is when you draw things in and the waxing when you push away. So for me, the dark moon is a time of letting go and releasing, and then as you get into the first quarter or so, from crescent to quarters, when you start to set intentions and manifest. But I still think this is a really great read. I quite enjoyed it. I think that if you're new to working with lunar cycles, or you want to just be a little more specific in your focus, then this is a good book to read. The next books I have are actually, they're not necessarily witchcraft related. They're more creative. The second one is, and I think this was released in 2015. Let me see. Get quotes, things. I'm looking for the publishing page. 2015, but it's Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert, who also wrote Eat, Pray, Love. This is more about the creative process. It's got these nice little bite-sized chunks that you can read. It's very inspiring no matter what sort of creative. You don't have to be a writer. Like if you're a painter, any kind of artist, this is definitely worth the read. Loved reading this book. I've read it twice now. I had it in hardcover, lent it out, and then I got this one. So it's a great book. I do recommend this. It's very inspiring. She makes you laugh. It's a really good read. The next book on my list is another creativity book, and I don't know what year this came out in. 2008. So it's actually, it's an 8-year-old book. But it is Juicy Pen's Thirsty Paper by Sark. It's another book about writing. Again, it's an inspirational type book, and I really love Sark's books. I love that everything is so colorful. She's very humorous. Oh, some papers fell out from Worst Driver, actually. I read this when I was at Worst Driver. She's just colorful and joyful and really, really encouraging. I love all her little doodles and pictures, and it's just like a very encouraging, lovely book. She talks about, blocks and things, how to encourage yourself, doing things step by step every day. It's just, it's a lovely, lovely book if you're into writing at all. So I do recommend this one as well. The next book I have is one that I think, did it come out in 2016? I think it did. Here's the publishing page. All right, this is Spark Joy, and it's all about cleaning up and tidying up, which sounds kind of boring, but it's actually a really good book. It is the follow-up to her The Magical Art of Tidying Up, I think it is. That one kind of tells you why you should. This is more the nuts and bolts of it. And so she goes through how to do it. So, she gives you little diagrams like how to fold your clothes, how to fold sweaters, things like that. And she actually has this lovely way of writing, and her sense of humor, how to hang your clothes so they go up like that. you know, little storage areas for your accessories. It's just a lovely, lovely book. And I love her idea that things have a sort of soul to them, so that you should be kind to your things and really appreciate them. And I love this book. It's an excellent, excellent read, and it's really inspiring. So I really love this book. The final of my top 5 is a fiction book, and it is Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I mean, I love all things Harry Potter, so having a new book was really wonderful. I went to a big party, a book release in the park, in Assiniboine Park, which is like this big park in Winnipeg, and there were thousands of people there. I think they had 12,000 people come, and it was just an amazing experience, and the book is really good too. I wish it was more like a novel and less like a screenplay, but I'll take it. So I was pretty happy about this. So those are my top 5 books for the year. Only one of them is an actual witchy book, but these are the books that I had the most fun reading, and they were really inspiring to me. Let me know, what are your top 5 books, you know? What are your top 10? If you've made a video, put a link below, like and subscribe, and I hope you've all had a wonderful holiday season and a great 2016.